Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining. Let's start with Radha Madhav. Jayo Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunj Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunj Bihari, Jaya Gopijana Vallabha, Jaya Gir Vardhari, Jaya Gopijana Vallabha, Jaya Gir Vardhari, Shodhanandana Vrajjana Ranjana, Shodhanandana Vrajjana Ranjana, Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jayo Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Excuse me. Om Gyan. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Gyantimirandhasya Gyananjana Shlakya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutle Samrupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavasya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanyatam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Krishna Setam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shivishakharnvitam Scha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinbandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutadevi Pranmami Haripriya Vancha Kalpatu Brehascha Kirpa Sindhu Bevacha Paditana Pavnebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo 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 Vishnu Padaya Krishna Parsthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Gaur Bhakt Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Mukham Groti Vachalam Pangum Langyate Girim Yat Kirpatam Vandeshi Gurundin Taranam Paramananda Madam Shitanesharam Hariyam Tatsat Narayam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narotum Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jema Duriyat Nasta Presha Abdureshu Nitya Bhavasya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nestiki. Okay, so thank you so much. And last time we were discussing about that we are just small controllers, we're not the supreme controllers. Only Krishna is supreme in everything. And we're talking about three things that we're controlled by: Kal, time, Karam, our actions, and the three gunas, three modes of nature. We are controlled, so we're not totally independent. Or in control, we are controlled by these three things, and everything changes with time. People come, people go, things change. You go to a place, you don't recognize it anymore. It's completely changed. Everything's changed. You meet people, they have changed, with time. So there's no surprise there, because it's very predictable that this is what happens. So like that, and so spirituality is only eternal. Material thing is perishable. The devouring time devours everything. So there is no surprise, and this is what Narad Muni is explaining to Maharaj Yudhishthir. So let's move to the next verse. 47 should be, I think. Yeah. So hastani sestanam apadani chetushpadam falguni tatra mahatam jivo jivasya jivanam. So hastani, those who are devoid of hands. So hastani and ahastani, yeah. So sa hastanam, of those who are endowed with hands. Apdani, those who are devoid of legs. Chatuhu padam, of those who have four. Excuse me. Okay. Those who have four legs. And falguni, those who are weak. Tatra, there. Mahatam, of the powerful. Jiva, the living being. Jivasya, of the living being. And jivanam, subsistence. So Narad Muni explains that those who are devoid of hands are prey for those who have hands. Those devoid of legs are prey for the four-legged. The weak are the subsistence of the strong, and the general rule holds that one living being is food for another. As we were explaining last time, that is the law of the jungle. The stronger eats the weaker. We also eat plants and fruits and vegetables. They can't fight back. We're stronger than them, so we eat them. But fortunately, Krishna accepts them as bhoga, and they ended up as prasad, as his mercy, karma-free food. Once you've offered it, and Krishna accepts it, then it's karma-free, and that's what we eat. Otherwise, everything we eat is full of karma, because you uprooted things. Those who eating meat, they have killed entities, so there is a karma involved in that. But once it comes through Krishna, then there's no more karma. But Krishna doesn't accept meat or eggs, fish, things like that. He only accepts fruit, vegetables. So we take that. So a systematic law of subsistence is in the struggle for existence is there by the supreme will, and there is no escape for anyone by any amount of planning. The living beings who have come to the material world against the will of the supreme being are under the control of a supreme power called Maya Shakti, the deputed agent of the Lord. And this Daivi Maya is meant to pinch the conditioned souls by threefold miseries. So Maya does not make it easy for us. Don't get too comfortable in this material world. It doesn't make it too comfortable. And still we are here for millions of births. Just imagine if it was comfortable. We would never want to go back. And this Daivi Maya is meant to pinch the conditioned souls by threefold miseries, one of which is explained here in this verse. The weak are the subsistence of the strong. No one is strong enough to protect himself from the onslaught of a stronger. And by the will of the Lord, there are systematic categories of the weak. The stronger and the strongest. There is nothing to be lamented if a tiger eats a weaker animal, including a man. It's just that we have more brains. We can capture or kill them by using our intelligence. But in terms of strength, if it was like for like, then tiger would win, and would be his food, because that is the law of the Supreme Lord. But although the law states that human being must subsist on another living being, there is a law of good sense also. For the human being is meant to obey the laws of the scriptures. So we eat other beings, but in a sensible way. This is impossible for other animals, that they can't discriminate what to eat, what not to eat. It comes automatically to them instinctively. For the human being is meant to obey the laws of the scriptures. This is impossible for other animals. The human being is meant for self-realization, and for that purpose he is not to eat anything which is not first offered to the Lord. So we only eat what Krishna accepts. The Lord accepts from his devotee all kinds of food preparations made of vegetables, fruit, leaves and grains. Fruits, leaves and milk in their different varieties can be offered to the Lord, and after the Lord accepts the foodstuff, the devotee can partake of the prasad, by which all suffering in the struggle for existence will be gradually mitigated. So this prasad that we eat is so powerful that not only is it karma free, it also purifies us as well. That's the thing. It takes away all our sins and our attachments, like that, and our bad habits as well. The devotee can partake of the prasad, which all suffering in the struggle will be gradually mitigated. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad-Gita 9:26. Even those who are accustomed to eat animals can offer foodstuffs, not to the Lord directly, but to an agent of the Lord. So even those who are accustomed to eat animals, so meat eaters can offer foodstuff not to the Lord directly, but to an agent of the Lord under certain conditions of religious rites. Injunctions of the scriptures are meant not to encourage the eaters of the animals, but to restrict them by regulative principles. So here is saying that you can eat animals, or not us, but if you must, the people who must eat animal meat, then they should do it under some kind of regulation, that you only eat like on certain days or once a month, but before you eat it, you offer it to a demigod, usually Kali, yeah. And maybe other demigods. I don't know, who else would accept meat, but I know about Kali. They offered it to her, and then although Kali, she would not accept, she doesn't really accept it, but that's people are doing this. They offer it to her, and then they eat it as prasad from Kali.
Kali offers to Bhagwan now. Even Kali it's prasad, they say.
So yeah. So the point here is that you work in a system, in a regulation. You're following some kind of regulation with faith, and once you keep doing that, sooner or later you'll realize that there's something higher than this. So at least you discipline yourself. The whole idea is to not behave like animals, behave like a disciplined human being, although your information or your beliefs may be incorrect, but you are following a process. It's like just like worship demigods. Sooner or later you realize that there's somebody higher than demigods, and then we should not worship the demigods. We respect them, but worship is saved for Krishna. But at least you're on the right path. You're there in going the right direction, but just not going far enough. So like that. So regulative principles and discipline for humans is very, very important. So you're following a system, but you need to upgrade it to a better system, which is more important for us. The living being is the source of subsistence for other stronger living beings. No one should be very anxious for his subsistence in any circumstances, because there are living beings everywhere, and no living being starves for want of food at any place. Maharaj Yudhishthira is advised by Narad not to worry about his uncles suffering for want of food, for they could live on vegetables available in the jungle as prasad of the Supreme Lord. and thus realize the path of salvation. Exploitation of the weaker living being by the stronger is the natural law of existence. There is always an attempt to devour the weak in different kingdoms of living beings. There is no possibility of checking this tendency by any artificial means under material conditions. It can be checked only by awakening the spiritual sense of the human being by a practice of spiritual regulations. The spiritual regulative principles, however, do not allow a man to slaughter weaker animals on one side and teach others peaceful coexistence. So that's, if you are slaughtering animals, then that's that's himsa. Then you cannot talk about ahimsa. If you are not peaceful yourself, you are killing entities. Be more conscious. Then how can you talk about peace when you're not following it yourself? If man does not allow the animals peaceful coexistence, how can he expect peaceful existence in human society? The blind leaders must therefore understand the Supreme Being and then try to implement the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God, or Ram Rajya, is impossible without the awakening of God consciousness in the mass mind of the people of the world. So first, Srila Prabhupada explained that first you awaken your consciousness, and then you awaken your God consciousness. So first you understand what's right or wrong, what is himsa, what is ahimsa, things like that, and then you can go into bhakti next. First you must understand what you're doing wrong, trying to correct that, and then you do your devotion service. Because you cannot be going against the scriptures and think you can do bhakti, because you can't. You have to understand first of all what the scriptures are telling us to do, how to live our lives, how to follow regulations. Only then you can move forward into more goodness. So this is 47. It's the survival of the fittest. That's the law of the jungle. Animals are allowed to eat the weaker animals, but we are meant to eat prasadam after offering to Krishna. If it cannot be offered, then do not eat it. That's the underline on that. Okay, 48. Tad idam Bhagavan Rajan eka atmanam svadrik antaro nanantaro bhati pashyatam maya yoruda. So tat, therefore, idam, this manifestation, Bhagavan, the personal Godhead, Rajan, O King, Eka, one without a second, Atma, the super soul, Atmanam, by his energies, Savdrik, qualitatively like him, Antara, without, Anantara, within and by myself, Bhati, so manifests, Pashya, look, Tam, unto him only, Mayaya, by manifestation of different energies, Uruda, appears to be many. So Nadman explains further. Therefore, O King, you should look to the Supreme Lord only, who is one without a second, and who manifests himself by different energies, and is both within and without. So the Supreme Lord, personal Godhead, is one without a second. But he manifests himself by different energies, because he is by nature blissful. The living beings are also manifestations of his marginal energies. So we are also his energies, and he has many energies. Qualitatively one with the Lord in quality, and there are innumerable living beings both within and without the external and internal energies of the Lord. So many, both within and without. Some are with the external and internal energy of the Lord. Since the spiritual world is the manifestation of the Lord's internal energy, the living beings within that internal potency are qualitatively one with the Lord without contamination from external potency. So within the eternal potency are qualitatively one with the Lord. Although qualitatively one with the Lord, the living being, due to contamination of the material world, is pervertedly manifested, and therefore he experienced so-called happiness and distress in the material world. Such experiences are all ephemeral and do not affect the spirit soul. The perception of such ephemeral happiness and distress is due only to the forgetfulness of his qualities, which are equal to the Lord's qualities. So there is, however, a regular current from the Lord himself, from within and without, by which to rectify the fallen condition of the living beings. From within, he corrects the desiring living beings as localized Paramatma, and from without, he corrects them by his manifestations, the spiritual master and the revealed scriptures. One should look onto the Lord. One should not be disturbed by the so-called manifestation of happiness or distress, but he should try to cooperate with the Lord in his outward activities for correcting the fallen souls. So, internally, he inspires us as the Paramatma, so he's inside us, and externally, he is everywhere as the impersonal Brahman. But here, in the context, we're talking about, how he inspires us. Externally, he inspires us as a spiritual master, who's a representative of the Lord. It's not God, but he inspires us. Krishna empowers him to inspire us and to guide us, and the scriptures as well. So, Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, from outside, we follow their teachings, and the soul empowerment by Krishna himself. One should look onto the Lord. One should not be disturbed by the so-called manifestations of happiness or distress, but he should try to cooperate with the Lord in his outward activities for correcting the fallen souls by his order only. One should become a spiritual master and cooperate with the Lord. So everybody can be a spiritual master. We can all be gurus to an extent. We are just, we are in process of becoming gurus. When you start preaching to someone and you can inspire them, then you are there. You are a guru. One should not become a spiritual master for one's personal benefit, for some material gain, or as an avenue of business or occupation for earning livelihood. Bona fide spiritual masters who look onto the Supreme Lord to cooperate with him are actually qualitatively one with the Lord. And so you do it as a service, basically. You cooperate with the Lord and you do it as a service, not for your own personal gain. And the forgetful ones are perverted reflections only. Yudhishthira Maharaj is advised by Narad, therefore, not to be disturbed by the affairs of so-called happiness and distress, but to look onto the Lord to execute the mission for which the Lord has descended. That was his prime duty. So we're talking about happiness and distress here, and not to be affected by it. And in fact, we should actually help others, explain to them not to be affected by happiness and distress. Because if we are attached to happiness and distress, then we cannot focus on our bhakti. We spend too much time either enjoying ourselves or lamenting or like that. And we should be peaceful. We should be in control. So we can focus on our bhakti. Our real goal. That is Krishna consciousness, pleasing the Lord, and trying to go back home, and not get too much involved in the pervertedness of material life, because that's, as explained, this is all temporary, and we just get caught up in it, thinking this is everything, and the world's coming to an end, and something happens like that. But this is just all this illusion, so to speak, that we're going through life after life. So for the criminals, this world is a prison house. They get prisoned in the prison. If you're a criminal type person, you will feel like, when you get punished, you will also feel that this place is a prison. You're getting reactions. And if you just like to enjoy sense gratification, having lots of fun, then this material world is a playground to you, isn't it? You having fun, having all sorts of cars and parties. In the material sense, just drinking and enjoying all sorts of food and wine and women. So for some people, it's a playground to have lots and lots of fun. So for them, it's a playground. And some say this material world is a university. It's for life lessons, for learning. So more of goodness, you want to learn things, right? You get your happiness by learning, acquiring knowledge. But then, still in three modes. So it's a university, it's a playground, it's a prison. But we want to get out of this prison, we want to get out of this playground, and we want to get out of this university. We want to use the university as a launching pad and go to our real destination, which is, it's not a prison, and it's not necessarily a playground, it's not a university, because we are full of knowledge. Yes, Sat Chit and Anand, we already have all that inbuilt in our Atma, in the soul. We are naturally of that quality, but we're covered by Maya at the moment, and we're trying to find it, but because it's covered, we can't find it, so we look for it in the wrong places. Is it there? Is it the happiness there? Is it there? I can be eternal. Let's see how I can eat this, I can eat that. Find ways. How can I prolong my life? We're looking for Sat Chit and Anand because that's what we are. But we're looking for it in the wrong place because we can't find it in the right place. It's all covered up by Maya Shakti. This is the problem. And once we get to spiritual world, we are in our own, ourselves as we are, the Atma, and then everything's available to us. There's no covering there. In fact, we use all that to serve Krishna. So that's the difference. So that's 48. So just as the Lord, when he descends, wanted this as a king, now he's saying that understand the Lord's instructions and follow that. Don't get influenced by the happiness and distress that is there due to Kal, Karma and Guna. So it's illusional. Act on the spiritual platform. And then you understand things as they are. And finally, Soyam Adya Maharaj Bhagwan Bhuta Bhavanaha Kal Rupo Vatarino Sayam Abhavaya Sur Davisham. So Saha, the Supreme Lord, Ayam, the Lord Shri Krishna, Adya, at present, Maharaj, O King, Bhagwan, the Personality Godhead, Bhuta Bhavana, the Creator or the Father of everything created, Kal Rupa, in the disguise of all devouring time, Avitar Ranaha, descended, Asyam, upon the world, Abhavaya, for eliminating, Sudvisham, those who are against the will of the Lord. So that Supreme Personality Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, in the guise of all devouring time, or Kal Rup, has now descended to the earth to eliminate the envious from the world. So what's Narmani Ji is trying to explain? There are two classes of human beings. namely the envious and the obedient. Since the Supreme Lord is one and the Father of all living beings, the envious living beings are also his sons. But they are known as the Asuras. But the living beings who are obedient to the Supreme Father are called Devatas or demigods, because they are not contaminated by the material conception of life. Not only are the Asuras envious of the Lord, so that's demoniac mentality in our understanding. Those who are envious of the Lord are considered having a demoniac mentality. In even denying the existence of the Lord. So the atheists, but they are also envious of other living beings as well. Yeah, those who are envious of God will naturally have the envious mentality, so they be envious of everybody else as well. The predominance of Asurs in the world is occasionally rectified by the Lord when He eliminates them from the world and establishes a rule of Devatas like the Pandavas. So Devatas doesn't have to be like, 4 arms and living in the Devlok. They can be on earth. It's about the mentality. His designation as Kal in disguise is significant. He's not at all dangerous, but he is the transcendental form of eternity, knowledge and bliss. For the devotees, his actual form is disclosed, and for the non-devotees, he appears like Kal Roop, which is causal form. This causal form of the Lord is not at all pleasing to the Asuras, and therefore they think of the Lord as formless in order to feel secure that they will not be vanquished by the Lord. Yeah, so a lot of people mostly see that Lord having no form whatsoever. When there's no form, there's no envious, no one to envy, and no one to serve either. Job done, very simple. That you don't have to, you have to worship anyone. Very easy, formless. So 49. So the devotees, they see the beautiful form of Krishna. The rest experience Kal Roop. The point that Srila Prabhupada makes is that Krishna, he will provide for the envious, although Krishna provides for both envious and unenvious because they're all his children. For the devotees, he will provide and help them. For those who are envious, Krishna will control them through material nature. So Krishna karma, Maya, Shakti, who do you want to be controlled by? You want to be controlled, because we are not the controllers. We will be controlled either by the Lord or by his Maya Shaktis. But we can't make that choice, because with the marginal energy, we can step on either side. Krishna or Maya. Krishna or Maya. That is our choice. So devotees, he will provide and help them. For those who are envious, Krishna will control them through material nature. He does not forsake anyone. Just for the rectification, just to get them back on track. He let the Maya, his agency, deal with them. But his devotees, he will deal with them directly. And he'll have his rasa with them directly. He will guide them directly. Or the people who are not interested in him, he doesn't want to spend time on them, because he wants to spend time with his devotees. For them, he has his agencies, and he can just pass. Just like in the material world, you can have, if you are a small buyer, then you go to the agency. If you're a big buyer, you deal direct with the manufacturer. So in a way, that's kind of thing. That if you're not important, because you're not following the requirements, then Krishna will pass you on to the agency to deal with you. But if you are, really following his rules and regulations, and you are not envious of him, just like Arjun, then he will interact with you directly. And this is what we want. He doesn't forsake anyone, but there are repercussions of those who don't obey the laws of, there are some rules and regulations which are not meant to be broken, as many people believe. Rules and regulations are meant to be followed. Even Krishna is saying that the rules and regulations are meant to be followed, not there to be broken. So follow them, and you can't go wrong. You're on your path back to Godhead. Keep breaking them, then keep going around in circles. So there has to be a system. You can't go into spiritual world and cause havoc up there, scare everyone, with your nonsense. You have to have some kind of system, some kind of understanding, and some love for the Lord and His representatives and His jivas, and then you have to have a decorum to follow. You have to be that's a devotee with all these qualities, and asuras, they only cause mayhem. So thank you so much, and love to hear from yourselves on this. We're talking about two types of entities today, mainly. Okay, and okay, let's speak to Hina Mataji first. Then we can focus, just in case Mataji needs to leave. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for the class. Everyone's well, with except my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. I think there had very few comments on these verses. So I was thinking about how everything's so divinely arranged by the Lord, particularly the first couple of verses around almost like the food chain that exists. Which for one species is, species at different levels of this food chain is food for another. And at the same time, these species have been created to fulfill the jiva's desires as well. So a certain jiva might want the propensity to kill, eat prey, for example. Then they would be given an appropriate body of a carnivore animal, for example, like a lion or a tiger, to help fulfill those desires. So in that way, Krishna's thought of everything. Essentially, there's a reason for these different species, created for a purpose. So in that way, everything's so intelligent when you think about it in terms of the creation that you see in this world. It's very smart, very thought through. And then just around the devtas and in this world, how there are two types of two types of human beings. You've got the devtas, you've got the demonic as well. And as you mentioned, Prabhu, obviously the demonic in this day and age don't walk around with horns and a tail, but it's in terms of their mentality. And I think we probably all have experienced some kind of personal experience of this in this age, and sometimes even within ourselves. So it's again, I think it's just how you, I think it's just interesting. I think the age that we're living in, essentially, and how to influence both types, whether it's the devtas and demonics, towards this path, essentially, because even the devtas may not strictly be following this path. They may have, as we know, pious qualities, very, what's the word, doing very altruistic tasks in society, etc. But they may not necessarily be on the bhakti path. But so for both types, they both require different types of preaching and influence, essentially. So they were my thoughts. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mate. Thank you. Pundikaksh Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances. And thank you so much, Kanankesh Prabhuji and Hina Mataji, for wonderful points. Initially, I could not understand these purports. I tried to read them and understand yesterday, Prabhuji, but luckily I found the lectures of Bhanu Swami Maharaj on these purports and these texts. I just want to share a few things from that, as well as your reading. So, Lord do not hate anyone. Either it could be a demon or it could be a demigod, because He is equal to everyone. He sees everyone equally, and He supplies things equally to everybody. But a person in devotee, in a devotional, he can recognize the Lord even though he is not present in front of him face to face, because we have got the scriptures and the spiritual master guidance through which we can understand the Lord. Whereas demons, even though they come in face to face to the Lord, also they cannot recognize him. Like we have seen, Ravana has come in front of Rama, Lord Ram, and Narsimhadev came in front of Hiranyakashipu. They could not recognize him. So Bhanuswami Maharaj was telling very nice point about Satchitananda of Sri Krishna, that when Hiranyakashipu came in front, Hiranyakashipu came in front of Narsimhadev, he could not recognize the Lord, and Ravana came in front of Lord Ram, he could not recognize. Even though he know that it's Lord Vishnu, but still he denied it. Whereas Shishupal got liberated because he come in contact with Krishna now, and even though he was envious of the Lord, but he was continuously chanting the name of the Lord in an envious way. But he got liberated. So Bhanuswami Maharaj says that Krishna is all attractive. That is, in this lifetime he got attracted, and then finally he got merged into Krishna actually. Again, there are many laws. Dhritarashtra was not seen, so Yudhishthira Maharaj was worried whether how they will eat, whether they'll die because of hungry. But Narada Muni is saying that Lord is so merciful, he make arrangements for everybody. So it even comes to insect. There is in Canto 6, Chapter 4, Text 9. It is very nicely explained how insects depends for food on flowers and fruits, and two-leg depend on four-leg, and four-leg and the two-leg, like that. And in that purport, it is mentioned that humans can eat deer and some other animal, but not the cows. But we are devotees, and we have more rules about that as well, because Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita, one who do not offer to me and they eat verily sinful. So we are not vegetarians as well, we are Krishnatarians, where we offer the food to Lord as a bhoga and then we honor it. So we have Lord's arrangement for everybody, and we have got spiritual master, and spiritual master, his role is only to elevate the fallen souls, and they should not take their knowledge as for livelihood. Instead, they should help the people to elevate in Krishna consciousness. And same goes with all the devotees. We try to spread the information of Gauranga as much as possible. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, so Krishna is equal to everyone. That point, like, is not always understood. Saying how can be equal to everyone? And I give somebody so much and so little to others. How can be equal? But he's equal in a way that he reciprocates accordingly. So just a simple example: if you went to a shop and you paid £1, then you get something that's worth £1. If you went to a shop and you paid £10, then you get something that's £10 worth. So in other words, that Krishna reciprocates according to you. You know how much you have faith in him, how much service you're doing for him, what you're doing for him. He will yayathamam prapadante. That's a system that he will do for you what you are doing. So he's equal to you. He's equal to everyone. So a shopkeeper give £1 for £1, 10 for 10. He's equal to everyone because that's what he paid and that's what he got. He's not discriminating in any way. If he was somebody paid £1 and he also gave them £10 worth of goods, and somebody paid £10, he gave them £10 worth, then he'd be discriminating. But it's according to you, how much you approach Krishna, he give you the same back, then he is equal to everyone. But although then Bhagavad-Gita goes and say, for his devotees, he might do a little extra as well. That's Father, he has a soft spot for his child, he can do a little extra. It's not a problem. That's between Krishna and his devotee. Thank you, Prabhuji. Kiran Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Such deep verses. It's up to us how deep we want to dive into these things. The deeper we dive, the more we can unearth the pearls from beneath the sea. Time, action, and the three modes of nature are for all of us. None of us can escape the sands of time. Activities we have to perform in the world that we live in. And the three modes of nature are inherently there. Choose ignorance, passion, or the modes of goodness. The laws of nature and the laws of scriptures are there. And we have to learn to abide by them. We have to learn to abide by the laws that the state puts upon us. And equally, these are Vedantic laws, the laws of good moral and good ethical behaviors, which are set within our spiritual scriptures. Obeying the laws of scriptures are inherently good for us because we can become aware consciously, but then that awareness of our consciousness becomes God awareness. God consciousness is intrinsic to being just a member of the material world or to be such an elevated soul that you become part of a journey to the spiritual realm. And it was indicated that we are learning these scriptures, but in learning, we have to become inspired by those who teach us. And those who teach us inspire us. And what we learn, we must distill that into our own hearts and minds so that we can inspire others to be to become good devotees. It is not about gaining fame, fortune, and wealth. It's a service. This is done for divinity and divinity alone. He will make the decision. He will decide what reward you get. And right, Prahlad, Nrsimha Dev said, "What would you want?" He said, "I don't want anything. I just want to serve you." And those who have such high levels of elevation in their consciousness, we don't want anything. We just want to serve. Just serve, just serve, just serve. Become the das of the das of the das of the das. And ultimately, Krishna says, "Yes, I come here. I come with my entourage. If you want little mundane things, go to the demigods. If you eat meats, go to the demigods, because Kali will serve your needs. But if you are a pure devotee, come to me and I will liberate you." When you really, really, really want something, you don't go to the organ grinder. You don't go to the monkey. You go to the organ grinder. You go to the chief executive when you want something. And hence we've come to Krishna, the master chief executive, the master of all masters. At times he will confer happiness and distress. It's part of the same coin, but it's how we deal with equipoise. And we have to learn in this university of material imprisonment that this is just an illusion. But the more and better we learn, and the more and better we get inspired by the university of spiritual masters, then we will become better spiritual seekers, better devotees. Act on a spiritual platform. There are two types. There are the envious and those who are obedient to the laws of divinity. Believe in the divine. He will be there to liberate you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Bobby. Yeah, we can make a choice. We can pick our menu according to what our mentality, what mode we are controlled by. Do we want the university menu? Do we want the playground menu? Do we want the prison menu? The choice is there to be taken, and we make our choices according to our mentality. So this is why it's important to be in the mode of goodness, to practice how the Guru tells us to be in the mode of goodness, then we will always pick the high menu and learn from that and move forward. Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, Purveen Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada. It's very nice verses, nicely explained by everyone. I don't know if I can add anything, but like the first verse, 47, speaks about the food chain cycle, how Krishna has provided for everyone so nicely, and he's set a quota for everyone. And it talks about how Krishna is guiding us from within and without, within as Paramatma and without Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. And then talks about Guru who, Guru only works for the service of the Lord and not for his own material gain. And that is what our purpose of life is. We have to understand what is our main goal is, and then we have to work accordingly, following the rules of the Lord without any distractions. This morning we were reading chapter 10, Madhya Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrita. It was speaking about Purushottam Acharya, how he did not take sannyas, he did not accepted orange robe or danda because he didn't want any distraction, because the goal was bhakti. So that's what we need to learn. What is our goal? So we should not be distracted. And in the first verse also spoke about prasad, how we have to only have prasad because it purifies us and it is sin-free. And it just reminded me, like talking to one of my, I can say, acquaintance, because we used to walk together. And then I said, oh, tell me about, because she was from Bengal, and what you do in Kali Puja. And she told me how they do the sacrifice. And I was really horrified, like the male goat and how they could kill. And I was just horrified to hear that. And she said, oh, no, we don't put onion and garlic in it. And I thought that was a joke, oh my God, you kill a goat and you eat it, and you're saying you don't put onion and garlic, eating meat, and but now we read it that so people are doing it, so it is, so, but we are so fortunate, Srila Prabhupada, he has shown us the right path, what we have to eat and offer to Krishna. And what else? We spoke about Asuras and Devtas, and Asuras for their own peace of mind, I can say, they think, God is formless, so they cannot be killed by him. So it is the mentality, and that's what we have to work on, our mentality, because people just do things whatever suits them. I remember one family member, because we've been vegetarian from very beginning, and they say, oh no, my mom's guru, they say, oh, you can eat meat and you can do this, you can do that, so people change according to what they want to do. But we can only take instructions from Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. So that is the right thing to do. And we are very fortunate to have devotees like yourself, Prabhuji, reading Bhagavatam to us, and to Srila Prabhupada for giving everything to us. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, wonderful there. Yeah. This example given of the sun. Somebody asked me once that does India have a different sun to here, or say Africa have a different sun to the UK? And I said, well, what do you mean? He says, well, it's so hot up there, people walking on t-shirts. Here we're wearing big coats, although it's the same sun, so it cannot be the same sun. There must be different sun because it's so hot up there and so cold here. So this is the thing, there's only one God, but time, place, circumstance, different people understand differently. Like the example you just given, that people have a different understanding of religion, and they think and they follow this is our God, but there is only one God. It's just that according to time, place, circumstance, the consciousness is the different in the consciousness, like that. And hopefully people will understand higher and higher stage and come to Krishna, but same God, same sun, different potency. So the potency is different places, and their understanding is according to that potency, according to their level of consciousness. So yeah, just pray for everyone. Thank you, Mataji. Ajay Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. It's I think it's quite amusing actually you read about the Lord in terms of Kala Roop, in terms of time factor. Now people try to ignore the Lord, but the time factor can't be ignored. Ultimately, you are locked in samsara and you will perish. The Lord comes as imminent death eventually, birth and death. This cannot be ignored yet. It's complete due to youth or ignorance or just blatant omission. You ignore the Lord, and then once you finally realize the perilous situation you're in, it's too late. And this can happen at any time in life. It doesn't have to be when you're very old. It can be very young. It can be my life will not be very long. So it's something that can happen for me now. The people have been going through millions of lives. It's not just a one life ignorance situation. Your problems, this material entanglement can grow bigger and bigger. It can become you can become a Nitya Buddha as an eternally conditioned soul. It's actually quite a serious situation you're in. You just don't actually realize how serious it actually is. It is why it's so important that you actually make a bit of effort to actually, for your spirituality, to actually try and understand what this life is all about. Because life does, especially in Kali Yuga, we know that life is short. We're spiritually lazy. Bhakti explains that in the first chapter. Now we are Preyanal Puyush, Sabya, that we are short-lived. We are Upadutara. We are what you call always disturbed. We've got all these problems. Yet all it takes is just to, like, as I give the old example of the two birds on a tree. You just one is the Lord or Paramatma is the example. The other is you. You just turn your head towards the Lord, and then suddenly everything starts making sense. It's simple as that, really. You just turn your head towards the Lord, and suddenly all these strange problems that don't really add up, these material miseries, these confusions, they all start making sense just because you've put Krishna within your life. It's quite, when you actually think of how simple it is, it's quite funny. But yes, again, it's that there's the effort, there's that mercy. You do have to just to take into account that it's just not, it can be very straightforward. You just have to put a bit of effort in, just especially when you might be tired or might be ill, but a little bit of effort there is appreciated by the Lord. And that's all it takes, really. Just try, and then the Lord is very merciful. Even if he tests you, he still wants you to come back to him. So just put a bit of effort in, and you'll find that you're on your way back. But whether it be this life or next life, it's not that long. Just put a bit of effort in, and you're on your way. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, thank you so much. Absolutely right. Brother
Hare Krishna, everyone. My pranams to all of you. And today is a very important day as well, as you must have seen on the Vaishnav calendars. It is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur's disappearance day, the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada. So it's all a forgetful nature, isn't it, that has brought us into the material world, and we are still forgetful. We are still not trying to wake up. We are still attracted by what we are not supposed to be attracted. It's just like the doctor who says to us, sugar is not good for you, but yes, we will go for it, and then we say that we are suffering. So Krishna has given us the antidote for everything in this life, and all we have to do is we just have to just look within. Lord is within us as Paramatma, and outside as his bounties, and like we're talking about the how God has created this world that the lower species will be eaten by the higher, and then the higher and the higher. And it starts from like plants, and even below the plants there are tiny organisms. So, but above all, God hasn't given control to any other species. Above all, it is God. God is the one who is going to devour everything in the end. So God has shown us that He is the controller in every aspect of our life, from the moment we come to this world, the moment we disobey Him in the spiritual world, and we come here, and He's so merciful. He provides us in all kinds of situations, in all kinds of our our stubbornness. It is our stubbornness, isn't it, that we have to hear things daily, and still it takes so long for us to imbibe a very little quality, and that too, that can go away very easily, Krishna, if we don't remind ourselves, repeat ourselves of that instruction. So God is without any second. He's the only one. Oneness of God is described in these verses. This is what I understood, and why He comes, it is repeated again and again in the verses, just to take away the envious ones. And let's pray to Krishna that we are able to follow the obedient devotees, the devatas, and we don't come into the next category. So we will be inching closer towards the Lord in every life, at least. We don't know when we will go back, but if we are here, if we can utilize our life in the service of the Lord, that will be pleasing to Lord, and He will give us the buddhi to come closer to Him. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Yes, say that if we don't bow down now, then time of death, everybody has to bow down. Then you have to lie down. Then so best to do it while you're still conscious, and do it with Krishna consciousness. That's the only way. So thank you so much. We'll catch up on Wednesday and continue on this chapter. Shri-Bhagavatam ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you all so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.